Our faces and bodies are a large part of our identities, and they are often a large part of our insecurities. Regardless if you are male or female, we learn at an early age that people can often judge us on our looks. We learn what is considered beautiful by magazines and TV and the internet. Before we continue, please like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when I upload the next video. When I was growing up, there was not a lot of people that looked like me on TV. That occasionally made me wonder why. I had been told by my female friends that I was attractive. My male friends often laughed at me, and sometimes they called me pretty. But obviously, the mass public did not view someone who looked like me as attractive, because then there would be more guys who looked like me in leading roles, right? With my occasional concerns about attractiveness, I never felt ugly. I had never been called ugly. I had been called other things by people who didn't understand my background. I was once called a wetback, even though I was born in this country, as was my mother. My father's family came from Costa Rica, so I was a mix. I was lucky to inherit traits from both my parents. I had never heard anyone call them ugly. My sister was often called beautiful, and she was a girl version of me. I had never heard anyone I knew called ugly, until someone called my friend Cheyenne ugly. While yes, there were not a lot of people on TV who looked like my friend Cheyenne, I had always thought she was beautiful. Cheyenne was unique looking, which I suppose could be said for anyone. Cheyenne was of mixed ethnicity, just as I was, so we had that in common. Cheyenne's mom was African American, and her dad was Native American. That was how Cheyenne got her name. I had always thought Cheyenne was one of the most beautiful girls in school. She was tall, her skin was a dark golden brown. Cheyenne's eyes were so dark brown that they looked almost black, and they were widely spaced on her face. She has very high cheekbones that seemed to almost flare out from her face. Her hair was long and curly and jet black. She also had a smile that made everyone around her feel at ease. My friends and I all thought that she was one of the prettiest girls in school. Cheyenne was never conceited though. She was a very kind and genuine person. She was usually very self-confident, until someone called her ugly. That sapped her self-confidence and broke a lot of our hearts when we heard that. It all started on a day when Cheyenne came into school wearing a new shirt. It wasn't fancy or anything. It was a vibrant bright orange red. It made Cheyenne look all the more stunning. Alex complimented her on her outfit the way that girls do. It was true. She did look great. The color practically made Cheyenne look like she was glowing. Her dad had bought it for her birthday, she explained, though she suspected that her mother had helped him out with that. She was also wearing new jewelry, which were birthday presents from her dad's family. The jewelry was unusual and beautiful with lots of turquoise, silver, and coral. The colors were bright and seemed to go perfectly with her new shirt. Cheyenne was extra excited about the jewelry because they came from the Cheyenne people of her father. Apparently, her grandmother had made the necklace. We all admired the craftsmanship and skill, and then we heard someone giggling. Two girls who looked a lot like the people we always saw on TV were whispering and giggling. Both had blonde hair and blue eyes. Britney was a natural blonde. Anna apparently was not. Every once in a while she had a dark line when her darker roots grew out. Britney and Anna were whispering and looking over at us all as we admired Cheyenne. I didn't know what they were talking about. I didn't care. It was a momentary distraction. Who cared? Later in the day, as we walked down the hall, I heard Britney's current boyfriend, Rick, say in a loud voice, "She's not pretty. I think she's ugly." "Thank you," said Britney in an exasperated tone. "I told you," Anna said. "Chad thinks she's pretty." Chad was not a member of their popular bully group. Chad was actually a nice guy who was on the lacrosse team, and apparently his opinion meant a lot to Anna. I didn't know who the girl was they were talking about. I didn't care. I had learned early on in school that they were not very nice kids, and that I had little to nothing in common with them. They were considered the popular kids. I didn't understand why. Anna and Britney were considered the prettiest girls in their social group. They seemed to have a fondness of making fun of people, and I did not share that fondness. I thought it was cruel and stupid. My friends were not cruel or stupid. That was why I liked them. As I met Cheyenne and Alex outside their classroom, I noticed that Rick, Britney, Anna, and Blake were standing around nearby with some of their friends. As we walked along to our next class, their little group followed us along. In that class, we sat by the window and Chad joined us, sitting next to Cheyenne. He complimented her on her appearance that day, just like the rest of us. Cheyenne had a big smile on her face. Alex was also smiling. You know the way girls laugh when they know something the rest of us don't. Anna and Britney were whispering loudly in the back of the class. I couldn't tell what they were saying, but it sounded very intense. Anna looked angry. As we were leaving class, Blake was standing with Anna and said, "I don't get why you're so upset. She's just an ugly half-breed." He was looking right at Cheyenne. "Come on, Anna. The only reason a guy like Chad would even talk to her is that she's easy. Why else would you talk to an ugly dog?" Cheyenne looked heartbroken. She looked hurt. I wonder if she was going to cry. I knew what Blake had said wasn't right. Chad was a good guy, and I could tell that he genuinely liked Cheyenne. I also knew that Cheyenne was a self-confident girl, but I knew that being called ugly was hurtful, no matter how attractive you were. I couldn't take it anymore. "Seriously, Blake, what is your problem?" I asked, facing he and Anna. "I've got no problem," Blake said. I knew that he was racist. He didn't like anyone with brown skin, and lumped them all into one category. I honestly didn't care what Blake said about me, but when he was that cruel to my friend who Anna hated for some reason. "What is it, Blake? Is Anna jealous because she likes Chad and has to use you to fight her battles for her?" "That's nice, one half-breed standing up for another." Blake laughed. Anna laughed too. "Maybe you should go out with Anna, since you like her so much," I said, annoyed. "And stop bullying Cheyenne, who did nothing to you. She doesn't even care about you guys." "There's nothing that dog could do to me," Anna said, smiling in a cruel way, looking at Chad. I was just about to say something when, "Maybe I have better taste than you do, Blake. Maybe I would rather date someone who's beautiful, unique, and a decent person, instead of a bleached stick figure who can't even speak up for herself. So she uses other people to do the bullying for her," Chad interrupted. "And for the record, Anna, if you think that insulting Cheyenne would make you attractive to me, or anyone else, you are seriously mistaken. That makes you really ugly." Cheyenne gave me a big hug. Then, smiling, she said, "You are beautiful." When homecoming rolled around, I put Cheyenne's name up for homecoming queen. Cheyenne thought it was silly. Cheyenne and Chad went to the dance together. She looked beautiful in her dress that was the same color as her red shirt. She wore her grandmother's jewelry. When the nominations were called for homecoming queen, I was happy to see that Cheyenne had the most votes. Apparently, a lot of other people agreed with me. It made me glad to see my friend happily dancing with her boyfriend and wearing her new plastic tiara and holding her homecoming bouquet. She looked truly beautiful. As time has changed, I have seen more people who look like Cheyenne and me and our other friends of different ethnicity on TV and other media. That makes me feel good. It shouldn't really matter, I suppose, but it does. It does because it tells when we see people who look like us on TV, it is validating. It says that people who look like us are worth looking at. It tells us that someone thinks that we are beautiful. It may be silly, but it's true. As time went on, in school, my friends and I endured and dealt with Blake, Anna, and their small group. Each time we did this, it taught us something new. And perhaps it showed them something as well. Maybe it taught them something about how to see people differently. And maybe not. I don't know. What I do know is that there are many types of beauty. There is outer beauty, and then there is what we have inside. That is the real beauty, the one that lasts after our youth turns into adulthood. Real beauty is kindness and empathy and intelligence. Those qualities are the exact opposite of ugly. I hope you liked the video. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you. Hey, thank you for watching. Please click on the right to subscribe if you liked the video. And please don't forget to click on the bell icon when you subscribe so that you can be notified when we upload a new video. Watch more videos on the left, including our playlist. Thank you.